Hello, welcome to the next episode of the Skeleton Click podcast. I'm Steven.
And I'm Pete. Welcome back. This is episode 4, I believe. It's been about a month since our last episode.
Yeah.
So we wanna apologize for that because I really didn't want it to be that long before we did one. But it's kind of good because it gives us a lot to talk about now. So we've got like a bunch of things to talk to you guys about. So
yeah,
I hope you guys
happened.
enjoy. Yeah. First of all, Emotional Roadshow is over, so that's probably the second biggest thing. The first being obviously the Columbus shows that were announced. We're gonna get into that probably after I talk a little bit about the New Zealand and Australia leg of the tour.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Yeah.
That was a thing that happened. I'm still a little bit in disbelief that I went all that way just to see them again. But
you travel the world, man.
You know, when they don't come to Ireland, what choice do I have? Cough. No, it's all games. But yeah, Emotional Roadshow's over, and it's crazy that this tour literally lasted like 2 years. It's kind of
it was like
was
a
it 2
year.
years?
No, it was a little less than a year. It started in the summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was like 2 years.
No,
Damn.
it just felt
Maybe
like
I'm just
2 years
thinking-
because
yeah, I'm
Blurry
thinking of
Face
Blurry Face
Tour
Tour.
ended and Emotional
Yeah.
Roadshow started like right away afterwards.
See, Emotional Roadshow for me feels like its own thing, but then Blurry Face Tour kind of just feels like part of Emotional Roadshow. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it feels like it's been a really long thing.
Yeah. Well, I
but
think
it's kind of sad that it's over.
Yeah, I think for me, most of the shows that I've been to in my life were on the Emotional Roadshow. Like before Emotional Roadshow, I had been to 2 shows.
Yeah.
So like it was a
Yeah.
big part of my whole experience with this band. So it's kind of sad that it's over.
Yeah. I believe I've been to 18 Emotional Roadshows.
Okay.
Which is just a little bit ridiculous, and when I realized that, I got kind of sad. Like, this has been a huge part of my life the last few years. It's insane. So I'm very sad to see it go, but I'm also more excited for what's gonna come in the future. So
Yeah.
shout out to Emotional Roadshow. As for the shows themselves, Tyler and Josh adore like Australia. They love New Zealand as well, but they absolutely love Australia, and it's so transparent when they're on stage. Every night they were just smiling, and they always give 110%, but
Yeah.
it felt like, they were giving like 150 like at those shows. So that was really special to be in a country like that for me, because I've always wanted to go to Australia, and to see my favorite band there was like so special. So
That's really cool.
yeah, and I also got to hear Cancer live. I'm not sure they're gonna be doing that anymore. I guess that's one of the things we can talk about with the end of Emotional Roadshow is like what the set list is gonna be
Oof.
next. For the Columbus
be-
shows? Well, I think, yeah.
It's going to be different for sure.
It's going to be different for sure, yeah. I mean, obviously, when the new album comes out, when and if that happens, there's going to, yeah, well, yeah.
They might not ever make a new album.
I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, I think, obviously, when the new album's out, there'll be new songs on the set list, but something that I had a mini, heart attack over was the fact that, they're kind of at that stage now where they have a lot of music. Like, when that new album comes out, that's, probably going to be, another, 12, 13 songs, maybe.
Yeah.
And that it's getting to that point now where they have, a discography, and they have a lot of songs, and the set list is only, 20 songs?
Yeah, I think it's about 20.
About 20, and it's just they're just running out of space. It's getting to that point where I feel like some songs are just gonna have to go. and I
That's
had like I
brutal.
had a mini breakdown because I was like, what if like Vessel songs start going off the set list? Because
Okay, that's enough
obvious.
there. No kidding.
That's enough for the podcast today.
That's it.
No, but
Okay, thanks for
really,
listening.
like
No.
it's really like we gotta talk about it because like people don't want to talk about it, and I was trying to talk about it with my friends, and they were just like, "Shut up, Pete! Like no one wants to talk about this." But like it's gonna happen because once that new album comes out, they can't replace Blurryface with the new album
Well, they
and
can
keep
replace some
Vessel.
songs.
They can replace some Blurryface, but like some of my friends were just like they were so adamant that like no Vessel songs are gonna come off the set list. Like Car Radio, no. Holding On to You, no. Migraine, no. Like they were just so convinced that those songs were gonna stay on the set list. But like if you think about it, those songs have been there for what, like ever?
Yeah,
for
but I
like
mean,
for
here's the
every
thing. Here's
for
the thing
every
with those
show that
songs.
play.
Like some of those songs are highlights of the show, and I feel like
True.
if that song is one of the highlights of the show, you can only get rid of it if you're replacing it with if like one of the new songs takes its place. So like how
Yeah,
they
yeah,
replaced semi-automatic with ride, and they still did the drum platform. Like
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Of course.
car radio could only go to me if they did something else where Tyler climbed everything, or like
Yeah,
holding on to you
yeah.
to me could
That's a
only
good point.
go
That's a good
if
point.
yeah holding on to me holding on to me holding on to you could only go
Holding on to
um
me. I love that song.
holding on to me holding on to you could only go if like they did something else where Tyler goes in the crowd and something else where Josh does a backflip. So like
Uh huh.
I feel like every song that's like a key part of the show in terms of theatricalness, which isn't a word
Yeah.
probably, but um, I feel like all of those songs just have to stay. Like trees, of course, but like
Yeah, well, I
in
mean, there's
terms
some.
of
I mean, obviously, I feel that like Trees is always going to be on the set list. I hope
yeah,
it's going to always be on the set list. But the thing
yeah,
is, now, like you say that those songs are like a part of the show, but like the thing is, they're only a part of a show to like us, like people who have been like fans for that long. There's people who've only been fans for Blurryface, so like to them, they're the same thing. Like the songs from Vessel and Blurryface kind of like are the same thing to them, because they've only been listening since Blurryface came out. So like to them, like Stressed Out might be the best part of the show, or like the Hamster Ball might be the best part of the show. So like it's just interesting to me, and I just think about it all the time. Like, how are they gonna choose? Like, is
yeah.
Tyler gonna take Stressed Out off the set list
Oh, probably
for one
not.
of the new songs,
I
or is
doubt
he
it.
gonna take out if he's gonna take off Holding On To You, or is he gonna something that I thought about a lot was the fact that like Holding On To You might come off the set list, but he might put it into like a new mashup. Like they might do more mashups,
Yeah,
because I think that's been a really effective way to keep fans like happy.
yeah, for sure.
Because when I was in America last year, like the medley was like a huge part of that for me because I got to hear, some of my favorite songs from the self-titled album, and it didn't take away from the show. They didn't have to take any songs off for that. It just
Yeah,
kind of like fit into the set list.
yeah, and it was at the B stage, which was also
Yeah,
kind of
even
interactive
better.
for other people in like near the back of the arena.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Um,
yeah, I
so
think
yeah,
personally,
it's funny to think about that.
I think like if they were to take like, or they're gonna have to take off songs, but I think they'll take off like just probably the less popular songs from the albums, or like the ones that aren't the most
Like House of
energetic ones
Gold, is House
live.
of Gold gonna go? Is
I
he gonna
think
stop
House
playing
of
House
Gold
of
will
Gold?
go. I think the new album is gonna have probably new ukulele stuff that'll replace some of the other ukulele stuff. Like maybe the Judge will go. Maybe I think We Don't Believe What's on TV will stay probably, but I think the
What if he
Judge will
stops
go.
writing? What if he stops writing with the ukulele? What if he stops playing ukulele songs?
I mean, in that case, then probably everything that's ukulele live now will probably stay. Um,
Yeah.
but I
Um,
think pretty much, I think it's safe to say all like everything except for maybe one or two songs that they do at festivals is probably gonna stay.
true.
Like if it's on the festival set list, it's probably safe. You know.
Yeah,
So in that case, I think Holding On to You
but
is
it's
safe.
so
I
hard
think
to
Car Radio is
choose.
safe. I think
It's
Trees
so
is
hard.
safe.
Like is the judge gonna stay? Like is
Ugh.
Message Man's gonna go
Oh
probably?
gosh, don't even.
But I think one thing's for sure is that we have no clue. Like we have
Yeah,
no idea what's gonna
that's
happen.
what we do know is that we don't know.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we're certain about.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of sad. I feel like it's the end of an era, like
Oh,
for real
absolutely.
this time, because I think like not too long ago we had like a whole end of the era like Blurryface thing. Whenever the Heavy Dirty Soul video came out, because we kind of realized that that might be the last video for the Blurryface album.
Yeah.
But this really feels like the end of it now because Columbus isn't really giving me any like Blurryface vibes at all. Um, it feels like something different, like on its own.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It feels like this really is the end of the Emotional Roadshow. Like obviously the festivals they're playing between now and then might have the same set list ish. So I guess that's kind of like the ending like festival run for Blurryface.
Yeah.
And but
I
then after
think.
that, like that's it. Like it's over.
Yeah. I think there. And we can kind of transition into our next point to talk about is
Mm-hmm.
like how we think the Columbus shows are going to be different, because I definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that's very obvious is that the small shows are going to be different production wise, at least, because obviously they're not arena shows. They're not going to, the basement isn't going
Yeah.
to have the big curtain and like all that
Yeah.
stuff. Um,
True.
so, I just obviously they're going to be
Yeah.
different production wise, but is the difference in production going to mean a different set list? I hope so, because
That's a good question.
I mean, that would be really interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about that. Let's just talk about Columbus. I think everybody probably wants to talk about it. So this happened while I was away. I came out of my first show in Australia in Brisbane, and I can't remember who told me, but maybe it was Joey, my friend Joey from England, came to Australia as well. Shout out to him. I think he just looked at me and he was like, "They're playing Columbus, like there's a hometown show," and I just sort of looked at him like, "Oh my god, like like what's happening?" Like I can't remember how I specifically found out about it, but I remember just sitting outside after the show and just reading everyone freak out about it, and um, then of course I learned about the rules of the whole thing, and I watched the video with Nigel in it, and I think everybody's seen it by now, so like I'm not going to explain it, but you
Yeah.
can just scroll back on 21 Pilots Twitter page and you'll see like all the Columbus tweets. Um, do you want to run through basically how it worked? Because you probably understand it better than I do, and I think I still am like confused about how it works.
Yeah,
So,
basically I
we're,
mean, they so now that they become so big, if they're to play small shows like they're going to, there's no way that everybody can be satisfied, which kind of sucks, cuz they're playing shows that
uh-huh.
have, you know, a few hundred capacity, a couple thousand capacity, but these are shows that hundreds of thousands of people are going to want to go to.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the way they dealt with it is the most fair way they could have. Like, I really don't think they could have done it in a more fair way. So
Yeah.
really shout out. I think, oh gosh, I think it was Mark that organized that. Um, I might be wrong, but either way, shout out to whoever organized that, because I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, it
Thanks.
was it was well done. They just, for anyone who doesn't know, they had everyone sign up through Ticketmaster, and then at a certain time, a certain day, they sent out codes to everyone who entered, and um, that was basically their way of beating scalpers,
Yeah.
because obviously, if scalpers had been able to get a hold of tickets for this, they would have been
Uh-huh.
like ridiculously expensive on things like
Oh yeah.
StubHub. It would have been thousands of dollars for a seat ticket in
Yeah.
like, oh well, they don't have seat tickets at the small shows. Like, never mind. But
Yeah.
it would have been thousands of dollars for one ticket, and
Yeah.
that just would have been killer to the fans who really
Yeah.
want to go.
So it was 100% US only. Like there was no one outside the US that got a code. Like is that confirmed?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm just going to sign up. I'm just going to make a Ticketmaster account with like an Ohio postcode, an Ohio like phone number, even though I live in like Europe and I'm going to get a code." And like I don't think that worked for anybody. I think they must have been able to see like which ones were legit or not.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see anybody get a code from like Europe or the UK or Australia or anywhere. Like it definitely seemed to be America only.
Yeah.
If you did get a code from Europe, please let me know, because that would be interesting to see how you did that.
How
Not
you
in like a
cheated the
bad
system.
way. Like I don't care.
No
Like
kidding.
that's cool. Respect. Like go for it. I don't. I mean, at first it did kind of annoy me because like as soon as I found that out, like I just lost all hope. Like, and it was even more annoying because it seemed that like a lot of people thought that I was just gonna go regardless. Like before I even understood the rules, I already saw tweets of people saying, "Oh, like Pete's gonna be there." And I was like, "How? Like how do you think that I plan on tending to get there? Like break into the venue? Like dig a hole under the barricade? Like what's my plan here?" Like I didn't understand. Like I lost all hope. Like I had my hopes were not high at all. Like I was just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna go." Like I didn't expect to go, which I was very okay with, because it was a hometown thing, and I just didn't expect to get a ticket. Um, and the only reason I got a ticket, ironically, was because my girlfriend who lives in America got a code, and she bought tickets for Express Live. So that's the only reason that I have a ticket is my girlfriend. I
Yeah.
think there's still people that think that I got a ticket like from some like illegitimate way, but no, like I literally just have one because my girlfriend bought me
Setting
one.
the record straight.
Yeah, and I met her through this band, so suck it.
It's kind of no, no. It's kind of poetic though. Like,
It is, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it's crazy. I'm still like I'm still in shock, and I still haven't like it still hasn't hit me yet. Like like the actual like fact that I'm gonna see. Like I have tweets from 2014 of me saying like I want to go to see 21 Pilots in Ohio. Like it's gonna be the best thing ever. And I have tweets from like all the other hometown shows that happened where I'm like telling everybody to have fun, and like I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. And then I have like my friends saying, oh, like you'll come to one day. And I used to always think that that would never happen, and here I am. So
yeah.
I'm really happy about it.
I also
But
think,
there was a lot of drama about it, wasn't there?
yeah. I mean, a lot of it circled around just. I mean, inherently, a lot of people are going to be upset because there's a lot of people that want to go that aren't going to be able to go, and I mean that really sucks. But there's no way around that because that's just how it is. Like, I mean, if you're going to do small shows, inherently you're going to make a lot of people that want to go upset because they can't. But at the same time, I also do think they'll definitely be able to experience it in some way because
Uh huh.
now with the wonderful magic tool that is the internet, um,
Yeah,
people
Periscope.
like I'm
If you
sure
ever
people will be.
Periscopes that basement show, like I'm gonna marry you. Like
Yeah, I'm sure
just
someone's
putting
gonna
it out there.
periscope the basement. I'm
If you
sure someone's
Periscope the
gonna.
basement show,
Yeah,
I will pay you
yeah,
in confetti. I have a lot of it.
yeah.
Please DM me on
Periscope
Twitter.
or Instagram Live or Snapchat or YouTube or posting videos on Twitter. Like, there's so many different ways
Yeah.
to experience
Yeah.
things, even if you're not there in person nowadays. So I feel
Yeah,
like,
true.
and I mean, not everyone is gonna want to film that, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I
Hey,
definitely do
300
think,
people, there's gonna be one. There's gonna be one person.
yeah,
It's all we
odds
need.
are there's one person at least that,
um,
and that's a
yeah.
that's that's actually I think that's a really selfless thing to do is to periscope the entire show because like I mean first of all you're not taking any videos for yourself, which some people like to do. I personally do that a
Yeah.
few times, but also like you're just filming the whole show, but it's not for your purposes. It's for
It's for other people,
thousands
yeah.
of other people that want to see, and
Yeah.
that's really cool. So
Yeah.
anyone
And I mean
like I
it's not that deep. People love to like complain about people recording at concerts, but like if someone is at the back of that show and they're still going to enjoy themselves as much as they would if they didn't Periscope, then like go for it.
yeah.
Just Periscope. Because you can guarantee I want to hear Tree's speech at the basement show.
Oh
Like I
my
want to hear that
goodness.
speech.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Literally, I
and
can't
I
even
want to
imagine.
and something else that I've been thinking about is like, do you think the set list is going to be different at every show, Or is it going to
That's
be same for the whole Columbus tour?
I've
Like, would
heard
that be
some different
unfair?
theories about that. I've heard some theories that um, I heard a theory that we're gonna do just self-titled at the basement, regional at best at Newport, Vessel at Express Live, and I was like, um, I'll
Uh,
die, but okay. Um,
I mean, I wouldn't even be mad. Like hearing Vessel from start to finish, like including the bonus tracks. Like I am stoked for that. Like if that's a thing. The LC just does make me think of Vessel, so like that would be
mhm.
really cool if they did that. But also, the last time they played Taxi Cab was at the LC Pavilion, also known as Express Live.
I refuse to call it
So
Express Live. I know I
yeah,
just
I
did
call
call
it
it
the
Express
LC
Live, but
Pavilion.
yeah. No, I saw someone tweet that was like, someone tweeted, I work there and I call it the LC Pavilion. I was like, yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, like when not to be like ignorant, but like whenever I found out, I was like, "What's Express Live?" Like I've never heard of that venue before. And then Haley was like, "Oh, it's like the LC," and I was
Yeah,
like,
they changed the
"What?"
name.
I was like, "What?" I was like, "You serious?" So I
Yeah.
really hope. All I hope for is Taxi Cab. That's it. Like if I don't hear Taxi Cab, then I don't know what I'm gonna do, but
I think
probably
it's
just
gonna
give up at
be.
that point.
I think
The last time they played it was
whenever
there.
I think whenever they find those periscopes that people make of the shows, it's gonna be like the most watched thing by the whole clique since the
Oh
first
yeah,
show of Emotional Roadshow. You know,
definitely,
like which could lead
definitely.
to new memes if someone was to do something like, "Sorry guys, I'm at 1% again," right as they
Yeah.
start playing
Oh
something
my
that hasn't been
god.
played in years. Like
Yeah.
imagine if they start playing like Slow Town or something, and then all of a sudden someone's
And
like,
it's
"Hey
like,
guys,
sorry
my phone's about
guys,
to die. I gotta go."
I would explode.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I really want to hear Slow Talk now that you mention it.
Yeah,
Starting to think of all
sorry.
the songs that I haven't heard. Um, but yeah, I'm so excited for this, like just to be in Columbus, with like hometown click. Like I've like it's so exciting. I don't have words. Um, I feel really lucky to have a ticket. I want to make that known to everybody. I do not take this for granted to have a ticket,
Yeah, for
at
sure.
all. Um, but yeah, I think there's quite a few of us coming from overseas. I recently just found out that there's a girl from Ireland as well who's coming. Um,
Oh wow.
who else? Yeah, and then there's Sophia, my friend from Ireland as well. So there's like Ireland clique is gonna be there.
Yeah,
I think
I know
we've just
Cassie.
gotten to that stage where we're yeah, yeah,
Cassie
we're
from
just so
Canada.
fed up of no tour dates, so that we're just gonna go to hometown. So
You
but
gotta do
yeah,
what you
it
gotta
was a
do.
little bit crazy on Twitter because I didn't know the full like rules. Like I didn't know that like at first I thought like if you got a code, like you had to use it. I didn't know that you could give away the code. I think that's what changed it for me was when I realized that like people could give away their codes because like you could get a code, give it to someone else, and then as long as they use their name on the checkout, like as long as they paid for the tickets in their name, like they were then their tickets. It didn't matter whose code it was.
Yeah.
It was now like their tickets. So like once I found that out, I started thinking like, oh, like maybe I can like buy a code off someone, or maybe like someone would give me a code if they can't go anymore. Which unfortunately didn't happen.
Yeah,
um,
but I mean, at the same time, that's kind of like I feel like buying a code off someone is kind of an unethical way to do it because like
Yeah,
it
it
goes
did
against the
feel weird.
system.
I did think about it. It did feel just like sketchy. And I
Yeah.
never offered anybody money for one. Um, but like one thing that did happen was like a lot of people got sort of angry at like I guess big like click accounts or like people with like a number of following who would like tweet like, hey, like give me a code, or like if you have one spare, let me know, or like buy me a ticket and I'll pay you for it or something.
Yeah.
And I guess some people felt like a little bit upset by that because obviously that's kind of like using your like platform to like try and go.
Yeah. And I
And
do understand that. I understand
yeah,
their frustration with that because I definitely see how you could look at that and be like, that's not fair at all. But at the same time,
Yeah.
It also and some people were saying like, oh, how come it's only big click accounts that are getting to go? Um, that's actually not true though. It's just the
Yeah, it
reason it
wasn't the
seemed that
case
way is
really.
because it was only the big click accounts that were getting that were
The
getting
attention for it.
seen by that. Like there were a ton of
Yeah,
small
yeah.
accounts that got to go, but they don't have the audience for it, so no one was realizing it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Um yeah, that makes sense to me. I didn't tweet about it at all because like I just I didn't want to get my hopes up at all. I didn't want people to think that I was going and then I'd have to be like, "Oh, like I actually didn't get a ticket, never mind." Um so yeah, it's kind of crazy because I've wanted to go for so long, so it just feels like really surreal.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I'm really
Basically,
happy that that I got a ticket.
here's the way I feel about the whole thing. I feel like the this whole situation is going to make some people really really happy and some people upset. Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like at least it's good to make those few people really really happy rather than the the alternate, which would be not doing these shows at all. You know,
Yeah,
like
of course. Yeah.
they've the band has come under criticism for for the way they
Mhm.
tried to do it,
Yeah.
but I really do think that they did the best they could, and
Yeah, I think so. I think people need to yeah, think about the alternative. Think about if they didn't do this system and they just went on general sale all of a sudden.
yeah,
I think we'd be in a lot worse situation. I think we'd all be buying resale tickets right now. I don't think
for thousands of
uh
dollars.
yeah, it's also good to point out that the tickets were $40. They weren't they like 39 like 95 or
I
something?
think to buy a pair of tickets was $100,
That's
and
like the cheapest they've been in a long time,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah,
yeah,
so
for sure.
I think the alternative would have been much worse. I think I would definitely be looking at StubHub right now if I if they didn't do it in this way.
Yeah,
But then again, I mean it's fair and it's also unfair and it's just no real way to think about it. I mean, if you think about the fact of a general sale anyway, it's kind of unfair. And considering it was for like the hometown fans and like they haven't done a show in like a year or two. 2 years maybe since the last hometown show.
the last one was on Blurryface Store,
Um,
so yeah,
yeah, it's been a while, so I think they did the best they could,
yeah.
which I think a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, we want to make we know that there's a ton of controversy around it. It's a controversial thing because it's an emotional thing. It stirs up emotional responses in people, but it is what it is, and either way, everyone is gonna get to experience it in some form, like
Yeah, I think so.
guaranteed.
Yeah, for all we know, like they might do like a professional live stream of some of the arena shows.
That's a really
Um,
good idea.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were just like, hey, like we're gonna do a live stream on our website or something. Like
Yeah,
that
like
would
just
be
like
that's
festivals do.
yeah. Um, that would be awesome. I think that would be really nice for them to do it. And even if they don't like we just talked about, like someone is gonna be periscoping those arena shows like
Yep,
for sure.
yep,
Somebody in the seats always periscopes.
yeah.
So yeah,
By the
I just
way,
hope that like if they do something special that everybody gets to take part in it in some way.
yeah. By the way, real quick, if there is a Periscope and you get to watch it, don't be commenting all the time on it because that just makes it lag for everybody else. So if you're watching the Periscope and you got all these comments, you're
PSA.
freaking out. Don't don't be
PSA.
typing them all in because that's just gonna make it worse for you and everyone else. So
That
not saying
happens
don't
every
comment at
time.
all, but don't
Yeah, I
spam.
know. But
Don't
every
spam.
time I go into a Periscope, there's always somebody there like stop commenting, stop
Yeah,
commenting. And it's like dude, like you're contributing to it by telling people not to comment. Like just stop.
yeah.
Um
That's why I'm
but
getting
yeah,
it
it's funny.
ahead. I'm getting the word out there ahead of the game.
Yeah. um but yeah, that happened and it was kind of crazy. So how many days? Like it's like a
Until
2 months
that,
basically. Yeah, it's
uh,
like 2 months until the basement show.
yeah,
Um, So it's really not that long, and they've got Hangout Festival, next month,
Sasquatch Music Festival,
Sasquatch, and
and then
Firefly.
Firefly.
So they got 3 festivals, kind of spaced apart quite well. Like I think Firefly's in June,
Firefly is
just
right
before
like
yeah the
right
Columbus
before the
shows.
Columbus shows.
So I'm not sure if they're gonna do a new set list for the festivals or if it's just gonna be, the usual.
It'll probably be the usual, like the
The
same thing they would
usual,
do at like
yeah,
Reading and Lee's and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Um, but I'm sure like there might be a live stream for Firefly. I think there was the last time. I
I
think I
wouldn't be
watched
surprised.
that.
Firefly's a pretty big festival, and they got some pretty
Yeah.
big headliners.
So that's
Who else?
something
Chance the
to look
Rapper.
forward to. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So that'll be cool.
I do think it'll be interesting for them to go, because I think, what is it? I think on Firefly they're performing on the Friday, and then the following Tuesday is the basement show. So I think that'll be really interesting for them to play in front of like tens of thousands of people at Firefly, and their next performance
Uh-huh.
is in front of like a few hundred.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I just stupidly Googled pictures of the basement and now I'm like crying inside.
I am so
Have you
happy
seen
for
how
everyone that gets
have
to
you
go to the
seen
basement.
how small that venue is?
Yeah, I've watched the
It's
Otis League music
barely a
video.
it's it's barely a venue. Like what is that? It's just like it's like a few stairs and then a stage.
Pretty much everyone that goes to the basement is like almost, I would say, almost like guaranteed to meet them. Like if you're going to the basement, you're probably gonna meet them. So congratulations.
I hope so.
I'm really happy for
I don't
everyone
want to
going to the
get
basement.
yeah, I'm pretty happy. The few people that I do know that got tickets, I'm really happy for.
Yeah, I don't want to name
One of
drop.
them is Darlene.
Oh, or we're gonna name drop right away.
Darlene,
Okay.
everyone knows that Darlene is going. I
Okay.
think if not, sorry, Darlene. Should we cut this out? I don't know. We should cut
No,
that out.
I mean I think it's
I don't
fine
know.
because
I don't think anybody in the world is gonna have a problem with Darlene going to the basement show. Like, come
honestly,
on.
yeah,
The top updated.
yeah.
The top
I don't
updated.
I don't I don't want to say like anybody deserves to go to a show, but if anybody deserves to go to a show, Darlene deserves to go to the basement. Like
Just
she
gonna clap to
worked
that.
so hard on Top Updated. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, top updated. If you didn't know, if you don't care, that's cool. But probably the biggest updating account for 21 Pilots, top updated, was ran by our friend Darlene, and she doesn't run it anymore, which I'm very sad about because I followed that account pretty much since the day it was created, and no, it's gone. And I'm somebody who doesn't use like Snapchat. Like I despise Snapchat. I only use it so that I can see my girlfriend. That's it. I admit. And I really don't use Instagram either. I kind of used it while I was away. But I really don't use it like in a day-to-day like basis as I would
Me
Twitter.
neither.
So it was always really nice to be like, to, get home from work and be like, oh, like I wonder what like the band's been up to like in the last few days, and I would just like go on Top Updated, and Darlene would just have everything just there,
Yeah.
like listed, like everything, like retweeted, like everything would just be there. And I relied on that for like a really long time. So like, like recently, I've just been like, I don't know what I've been doing. I've just been like missing stuff. Like someone will be talking to me and they'll be like talking about like someone's Instagram post or like something that Jenna was doing, and I'll be like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, like, didn't you see? Like, and I'm like, no, I didn't see, because Top Updated's gone and I don't see anything anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll just do like a shout out to Darlene and a
Yeah.
thank you for like
It was-
all her hard work.
It was
over the
really,
last few years.
really impressive that by herself she did all of that for was it over 2 years? Or was it 2 years? 2-ish years.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 years. Yeah, it started like kind of around I think like Blurryface tour like starting.
Yeah. And that's,
Because
mean,
I think she ran it for about 2 years.
Yeah, I just know I could never do that by myself for that long. Like
Yeah,
To take it upon yourself-
to follow like
to take
everything.
Yeah, to take it upon
and to
yourself
retweet
as the
everything.
responsibility of keeping the entire clique up to date with this band every day like with what they. Oh my gosh, that's such a big responsibility, and it's such a big job, and I'm sure it took up so much of her time. So, just
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
bravo.
Thanks, Darlene.
Yeah,
Have fun at the basement show.
yeah. It's like your celebration, your retirement. Your retirement celebration is the
Cry.
basement show.
Cry in a taxi cab for me. Um, but yeah, it's been kind of like a crazy like month or so.
Yeah,
I
Tyler
think with,
changed
like,
his
the
layout.
Emotional Roadshow. Oh yeah. Should we talk about that? Is there anything even to talk about, or are we just gonna be like fake deep about it? Because
Fake deep.
I've already seen enough theories to like never want to like go on Twitter again.
Well, here's the
Some
thing.
people literally like. Someone said that like it looks like the logo, like the two cones in his header, like it's straight and then like a slant, and it looks like the logo.
Maybe a little bit. I'm looking at it right
which
now.
is why he took the picture at all in the first place, or did he take the picture without realizing that?
Honestly, I mean, they've always done things that like, people make theories up about it, and then people are like, no, it's not that deep, and then it ends up being like, they're showing
Even
something
deeper than
that's
we
going to be in the
expected.
future. But honestly, I don't think this is deep at all. And if I'm wrong, so
just he
be
took a
it.
picture?
But honestly, I think this is
Okay.
just him like, okay, I'm done with this layout. Let's put something else up.
Okay, yeah. He captioned it "be odd." So like, what was he referencing? Is he referencing like the cone that's blue, or is he just like, is that just the caption and like he just took a picture?
I
The
think,
picture is from
yeah.
Columbus.
yeah. I just think it's. I honestly, I don't even think there's a lot to talk about with it, because I just think it's a picture of some cones, and he's just like, be odd, because the one cone is different from the rest of the cones. It's a
Yeah,
metaphor.
I think I'm on your side on that. I think it's kind of just very simple.
Yeah.
Also, he changed his icon, and it's from a long time ago because Josh's hair is like not yellow in it. And I remember there's another picture similar to that one. It's not as blurry, and I remember seeing that one.
Oh.
So
yeah.
I wondered for a while like if he changed it to that because they were doing something during that time for something that's coming in the future. I don't know.
I wonder if the white line at the bottom of his picture is intentional or not.
Oh my god, the white
It
line.
pissed off so many
Everybody's
people.
freak. I didn't even notice. I thought that was something that was just like wrong with me.
Wrong with you?
Yeah, I thought it was just like my phone was broke or something, and then everyone started tweeting about it, and I was like, oh. Yeah, I don't. And then everyone started tweeting him, and then he started retweeting it all. Like he obviously found it funny that like everybody was like annoyed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
What's
Good
Josh
times.
been up to? Has Josh done anything? I don't think Josh is ever gonna change his layout. I think Josh like is in love with his layout.
Yeah, which was, I mean, it was done by a fan, so that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool actually.
Yeah.
But no, he hasn't been doing anything. I think they're both. Josh went back to Columbus. No, did Josh go back to LA? I think Josh went back to LA
Yeah, probably.
after Australia, like pretty quickly. But I think Jenna and Tyler stayed for like another week or so. Like they stayed a little bit longer. Just because I know Jenna posted on Instagram a bunch of stuff, so I think they had like, a few more days in Australia.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But they definitely love it. And I think it was the Perth show, the last show of the tour. Tyler said in his street speech, he said if he wanted to live anywhere or move anywhere in the world, he would move to Australia. I'm not sure if he was talking about like Perth directly, but he said that they would want to move to Australia, which was pretty cool.
I want to go there someday. I'm so jealous of you traveling the world, like to see this
gotta
band.
go,
Some
man.
people,
It's-
most people just travel the world for the sake of traveling the world, and you're just getting to do it while you follow this
I mean-
band.
I mean, I kind of do it for both. Like, I do it for both of the things. That some people think that I just travel, like I just go for the show, and it's like, no, like I'm not doing that. I actually got to meet like some of my oldest like clique friends
That's really
over
cool.
there as well.
That's really cool.
Um, people that I've followed for like 2 years. I got to meet over there, so like that was really cool. Yeah. Uh, it's a strange experience. I'll never be able to describe it like for what it is
Yeah.
because it's just like too much. But yeah, it was incredible. The only question left is like after Columbus, I just feel like that like maybe I'm gonna like hit this wall where I'm like I just don't want to see this band anymore. Which hasn't happened yet, and every time I say that, everybody just rolls their eyes at me like, "Oh, like you're gonna keep fucking going." But um,
Well,
I don't
I
know.
think each
Like
show.
Columbus is like the ultimate. Columbus is like the ultimate like show. Like, how do you beat that? How do you beat seeing them in Columbus? Like, you just can't.
I don't know. I think each show.
Unless I see them at like the North Pole or something, or like space. Like space is like the next thing.
It
Like
could
if
be
I
like
see
Judah
them
and the
like
Lion.
play
They're
on the
going to
moon or
Mars.
something, like yeah, sure. Yeah, like Mars, like yeah, sure, that'll be like better. But like
Yeah.
other than that, like what you can't beat the LC Pavilion in
Yeah. And I think
Columbus.
each show takes on. Each show that everyone experiences takes on a different meaning, and I really like
Uh-huh.
that. Like even if it's the same set list and the same show in air quotes, the
Yeah.
same show, um, it's not the same show because it always takes on a different meaning for people. And I think that's what's really
Yeah, of
cool and
course.
unique
Yeah.
about this band.
Yeah, every time I see them in a different place, it's different. Like I can't really explain it, but it's like there's a different energy. The fans are different. They sing different. There's a different atmosphere. Tyler and Josh act different. Like it's a whole new show every time.
Yeah.
I just sneezed. Bless me.
Bless you.
Uh, uh, but yeah, I can't wait for Columbus, dude. Like, I'm gonna get to see Steven again, guys. Like, you don't know how much I miss this guy.
Ah, the squad
Like,
reunited.
yeah, the squad is gonna be reunited, and I'm gonna get to meet so many more people as well. It's gonna be so good. I'm so pumped for Columbus. I'm just like really pumped for this whole new like era
I'm just
because
really
like
pumped.
Blurryface is just like over.
I'm just really pumped for
Yeah,
my
you're
semester
just
to
pumped in
end.
general,
I'm pumped for my
just
semester
life.
to end. I have like a month left of school and then I'm free.
Oh shit, can't relate. I just have work. I'm just working at the moment. I'm working a lot.
I'm
Um,
working too.
yeah, don't you guys get off for summer soon?
Yeah,
Like the summer holidays?
I get off. I get off the week before Hangout Festival, and then I'm going to Hangout Festival. And then I'm off until like near the end of August. I think August 30th is when I start school up again. So
Oh damn, you guys
yeah,
get such a long summer vacation.
yeah, America.
It's so long. What the hell? Like when I was at school, we got off at like June, and then we went back in like the 1st of September.
What?
Like that's like yeah, like we got off like in the middle of June, and then we went back in the 1st of September. So you only really got like July, August, and that was it.
Did you get like more breaks during the school year though?
Well, we yeah, possibly we got 2 weeks in Halloween.
Oh
No,
wow,
two.
we didn't
Oh,
get
maybe
any
no, maybe
time
we
off
got
for
one
Halloween.
week. Oh, we get 1 week in Halloween, 2 weeks at Christmas, 2 weeks at Easter,
Oh wow, yeah. I didn't get
and
any
then
time off
maybe
for
like one or
Halloween
two
or
other
Easter.
weeks. Oh yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Um, I would still prefer the long summer though. Like that's still better.
It's nice. And I mean, this is going to actually end up being my
Uh,
longest summer ever cuz like it's my first year being in college and I'm getting out
yeah,
of school. Like my little sister is still in high school. She's she gets out of school I think like 2 weeks after I do and goes back like a week before I do. Um
yeah,
And it was the same for like for Christmas break for college. I got like a month off, a little over a month off versus high school gets like 2 weeks off. But I think that's because
yeah,
college is like it's like you're away from home usually.
yeah.
Not
That's
always, but
true.
usually you're away from home. So you get longer breaks, so you can stay home longer, visit family, all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
true.
mean, I think I was actually I was talking with my sister about this last night about like what's more difficult, high school or college, um, and it varies. It depends on what you want to consider. Like in my eyes, high school is more difficult on a day-to-day basis because you have more of a workload every day. But college is more
Yeah,
difficult in terms of exams because the exams are over like a much bigger portion of work.
true.
We've gone off on a
Yeah,
complete
yeah.
tangent here, by the way. This is totally unrelated. But and then
I'm sure
overall,
everybody listening it can relate.
yeah, and then I think overall, emotional trauma wise, I think it's about the same. I think emotionally, they're both pretty traumatizing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's something nice about the Columbus shows is everybody's gonna be off school.
Yeah,
So, which actually that might not be a good thing because then everybody's gonna camp for the shows.
I mean, everyone camped for the shows over the summer for Emotional Roadshow too. It's just that just means it's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
hot.
yeah. Um, I have no idea what my plans are. I'm just focusing on the idea of being there. I'm gonna book my flight first before I start talking about getting in line for this show.
Oh,
I don't know. I'll probably end up camping. I always end up doing it, but like,
yeah.
I'm really not bothered.
I
I just
wanna
want to be there.
I wanna
I
make
just,
one more point before we sign off here. Any predictions for who could possibly be an opener for these shows?
oh yeah,
I mean, who do you think? Or who do you
yeah. Let us
want?
know. If you're listening, let us know A, setlist predictions,
Yes,
and B, opener predictions.
yes, yes.
I have a feeling I'm gonna throw this out here. Um, it's in Ohio. It's a Columbus tour, so I think there's gonna be a Columbus opening band.
Yeah, I agree.
Or are Walk the Moon from Columbus? I know they're from
I
Ohio, but are they
think
from
I think they're
Columbus?
from Cincinnati. I know they're from Ohio. Yeah, but I think they're from Cincinnati. Let me double check on that. I'll double
Because
check
I
that right
thought that
now.
Walk the Moon might open for them.
I know they're not from
Because
Columbus.
they played shows before together.
Walk the Moon's from
Or
Cincinnati.
they'll have no openers and they'll just have a long set.
Oh, I didn't even consider that. Wow.
um, there's another band I love called Sigur Rós. They're doing a world tour at the moment, and they have no opener. They just have they play 1 hour, then they have an intermission, and then they play another hour set.
Oh, that's
Can you
cool.
imagine 21 Pilots doing that? Yeah,
Nope.
I thought about
But
that for a while. Like maybe they'll just have no openers and they'll just play a really long set, like a 35 minute like extra. Like they'll play the set and they'll have like a break and then have like another 35 minute set or something.
yeah, that could be cool. I also thought I mean, I thought maybe Vespertine could be opening cuz I think as of right now
Oh,
Colin doesn't have any shows
that's a good
scheduled
point.
for that time period. And I mean, obviously they're from Columbus. They're good friends with Josh. Um I mean, I think it's possible. Vespertine is a great live band.
Yeah, I think
So,
so as well.
yeah. I definitely think if they pick an opener, they're gonna want to pick someone from
Yeah, I
Ohio
haven't seen
or
them.
specifically Columbus to try to like, because I mean,
I haven't
obviously they're
gotten.
so big about local bands.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that into them yet. I think it's just gonna take a little bit of time. It's kind of one of those things for me. Whenever everybody's talking about a band and everybody's saying to listen to them, I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on my own time.
No,
It
Vespertine's
kind of happened with
good.
John Bellion as well. Like everybody was like, listen to John Bellion, listen to John Bellion. I was just like, whatever. And then one day I finally listened to him and it was like, holy shit.
Yep,
So maybe that'll happen with Vespertine. I don't know. But
Vespertine
yeah, I
is
have no
fantastic.
predictions really. I thought of Walk the Moon because they're from Ohio as well, but other than that, I really don't have any like solid predictions. I'm more concerned about that set list.
I thought,
It's gonna
wait,
keep me up at night.
oh yeah, I forgot. They already announced the opener. It's the Beatles. The Beatles are opening for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's gonna be the Beatles. They're bringing back John from the dead. They're bringing back George from the dead, and the Beatles are gonna open for him.
The zombie Beatles, like from
Yeah.
back from the dead.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
great
you know
show.
what? I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not a fan.
Y-
Don't like the Beatles.
Whoa, whoa there. We need to reconsider this friendship. No, I'm just kidding.
Podcast cancelled. I don't know what it is. I just like I you know just I don't know what to tell you. I think they're boring. I think they're dull.
The Beatles were the first band I got into back when I was like 6 years
Oh
old.
really? Shit. I'm sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
just can't
Everyone's
listen to
entitled to
them.
their own
There isn't
opinion.
one song. There isn't one song that I even vaguely appreciate.
Oh man, I don't even know how to respond to that. I mean, I do think they're.
Oh, we just lost all our viewers. Everybody's just like, all our listeners are just
I
gone.
do think they're a
Every time I tell people that, people just like, just give me this look. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I've never been into them. I've never liked any, like, I don't know. Maybe like Yellow Submarine. Like, isn't that one of their songs?
That's one
like,
of their most
I
popular
guess I know
songs.
that. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what to say.
That's fair though. Honestly, like I'm everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Like especially like if you don't like music, like a certain band, who am I to judge you not liking that band? Like
Yeah.
there's no such thing as a wrong music taste.
Maybe I just need like a proper like introduction to them because I've always just opened Spotify and like clicked a song and
Oh,
just
that's a
never
good
really
point,
got
yeah.
into it. Maybe I need to like somebody to tell me about them or like give me some history or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe. I mean, I know personally I was raised like my dad he would always play in the car stuff like the Beatles, the Rolling
See, that's the
Stones,
thing. Like that's the thing.
Led
My mom
Zeppelin.
never doesn't like the Beatles either. My mom's not really fussed on them either. So
Yeah.
like, you know, I was more into like Journey and like
I like Journey.
uh the Stones
Stones are
and Pink
great.
Floyd.
Pink Floyd is great. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's kind of where I was coming from, and then I don't know, the Beatles just never, nope, not once, not even once.
I,
Anyway, before I say any more problematic music opinions, I think that kind of wraps it up. Did we talk about everything? I feel like we didn't talk about anything that did we?
yeah, we talked
What did we
about a
talk
lot of
about?
things.
We talked about.
We talked about 52 minutes worth of
I feel
material.
like. Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, to summarize, Emotional Roadshow is over. Tyler's doing some weird shit on Twitter. Columbus shows are happening.
And Pete doesn't
Uh,
like the Beatles.
we might hear, and I don't like the Beatles. That's it.
That's it. That's the whole podcast.
That's a wrap.
All
That's
right.
a wrap. That's
Yeah.
a wrap.
We might have some like just we're trying to get some fun surprise stuff scheduled for the
Yeah.
future for some future podcasts. We're trying to get some cool stuff
Yeah.
to happen in the future. May or may not happen. Stay tuned.
Please have faith in us.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated with the tweeter.
Yeah, episode 5 should be a good one. Probably will happen before the Columbus shows. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, definitely before the Columbus shows, I would say.
Yeah.
That's a long time away.
I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else we gotta like thank for this. Oh yeah, once again, my friend Charlie is doing the art for the podcast. Please give them a follow on Twitter if you like their art, or go buy something from their stores. I think they have a Redbubble store.
Yeah. And thanks.
But we're really grateful for the artwork that we have for the podcast. Just makes it like a little bit more professional.
A little more personal too.
I still love our layout. I still go on like the Click Twitter, podcast Twitter sometimes, and I'm just like, I love this layout. I just look at it sometimes, and I'm like, this is so cute.
Yeah.
So thanks to Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie, and thank you, Ryan.
Oh yeah,
who created our intro
Oh,
and
yeah.
outro song. Thank you very much for that, Ryan, because I've listened to it
yeah.
so many times, just thinking like, you made this. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. There was one thing that you just reminded me because Ryan was actually a part of this as well. I don't know if anybody listening goes on the 21 Pilots Reddit. It's still very small. I kind of like it that way because it's kind of like the last part of the internet for 21 Pilot fans to go, where it's kind of like it feels like very small and low key. But if you go on the subreddit for the 21 Pilots, there's a pinned like thread, and some really cool people on that Reddit, they made like a charity album. I'll link it probably to the tweet for the podcast. And it's just a link to a Bandcamp page, and there's covers done by members of the clique. They did Time to Say Goodbye, Oh Misbeliever, Taxi Cab, Truce, Heavy Dirty Soul, Ride, Tear in My Heart, We Don't Believe What's on TV, Heathens, and I think that's it. And Ryan, who did our intro, he did Heathens. Awesome. It's a really good cover.
That's great.
He didn't do the vocals, he just did the music. I believe that's true. But yeah, it's really cool. You can go listen to it on Bandcamp, and you can pay whatever the hell you want for it. You can pay nothing. You can just listen to it, or you can give them $1 or whatever you want. And all the proceeds go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, which is also obviously like a really important and like probably a really helpful charity. I don't know a lot about them, but I just think that it's probably a really good charity.
Yeah.
So if you want to go listen to that, it's on the Reddit. It's really good. Every cover is done so well. That's something that I wanted to shout out because it's really cool, and it happened like a month ago, and we didn't do a podcast, so I didn't talk about it. But it's there. You can go listen to it.
Sounds good.
It's a really cool project.
That was awesome.
Yeah. We should listen to it after we finish this because it's really good. I think that's it. Yeah, we hope to see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for listening. This podcast kind of feels like it was all over the place, so apologies for that. But
yeah,
it's been a while.
We took up so much time only
us.
Because it's been so long since our last one. So, hopefully,
we hope that
we'll be able to get into a more regular rhythm soon, and then they'll be shorter.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you made it this far to the end, thank you for listening.
Please stay tuned for our next podcast. We hope it's going to be a good one.
We have some ideas, some nice, fun ideas.
Yeah, we got some good ideas. And I really think I'm going to plan something for the Columbus shows. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I want to do something for that. So
something special.
Please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud. We have a Tumblr. I don't know what we're going to do with it yet, but if you want to follow us on there, you can do that. I think that's it. That's everything I have to say.
All right. Stay alive and stay listening. Have a good day.